Gill, and I actually grew up on a farm in West Texas. My grandfather, my dad, and my brother are all cotton farmers. And I spent a lot of time in the field. I understood, the growing cycle. I understood all of that really, really well. I even visited the gin whenever I was a child during school, but I never really asked any questions about where that went. We talked about, maybe it ends up in jeans, so we made sure to always buy a lot of jeans. But I didn't really ask a lot of questions about where that cotton went. And a few years ago, almost 8 years ago, I started working for Textile Exchange, and that whole world opened up to me, and I started to learn more about what happens after the cotton leaves the farm. And this is kind of the way that Textile Exchange works. We approach, Dr. Coleman talked about kind of changing your perspective a little bit, and my perspective blossomed after working with Textile Exchange and seeing we have over 200 members that span brands and retailers, suppliers, raw material producers across cotton, polyester, animal fibers, any other materials. And what I want to talk to you today is about the role that end pull can have on the rest of the industry. The impact that brand and retailer demand is already having on the industry. Textile Exchange works in 3 different ways. We build information about the impacts of raw material production and about production and consumption trends through the industry. We also own industry standards that help define best practice and pull and verify those materials as they move from the source to the final product. And we act as a convener for the industry, bringing everyone together, discussing best practices, sharing ideas, and how to address hurdles in our move to use more and more preferred fiber and materials. Earlier this year, the Copenhagen Fashion Summit issued a commitment where over almost 65 companies committed to taking a step towards the circular economy. And they identified 4 different areas: increasing the design for recyclability, increasing the collection of used textiles, increasing the sale of used textiles, and increasing the demand for recycled material. And that's really where Textile Exchange focuses a lot of our work. We have convened a working group, a recycled polyester working group, that is made up of all of the brands, suppliers, and raw material producers around this space to try to understand how to build up supply and demand. And we've actually announced recently that the members of that group have committed to a 25% increase in the use of recycled polyester by 2020. And they're already well on their way. I mean, if you think about the planning, 2020 is happening right now. And so this is a practice that's already in place. So this is one way that Textile Exchange is working in this space. I mentioned before that we own industry standards. We have 2 standards, the Recycled Claims Standard and the Global Recycled Standard. And these standards verify recycled content, identify it as either pre-consumer or post-consumer, and then track that material through to the final product so that a brand, a consumer, can be confident of the content of that material. And we've seen an almost 200% growth from 2015 to 2016 in the number of companies that are signed on and certified to these standards. Another area where Textile Exchange works is to capture the production and consumption data for preferred fiber materials. This is not limited just to recycled, we also address preferred cotton, animal products, and man-made cellulosics. And in 2016, the consumption of polyester, of synthetics, only 8% of that was recycled. And this, I think, is our big opportunity. There are brands and retailers and consumers that are asking for this. There are companies like IKEA and H&M and Target and Nike that have made these commitments to use more recycled materials. And the question is, how do we grow that? How do we move it out of the 1-digit percentage into double digits, into 50, 75% of our synthetic use to be more recycled? And we have a couple of solutions on stage with us today, and I'm really excited. I think these kind of cross-industry platforms really give us a great opportunity to learn about different feedstocks and different uses of this material that we're generating. And I'm really excited to be here and just encourage everyone to continue kind of thinking from a different perspective about how we can increase our use of these materials.